Hey everybody, it's Andy here, aka Montolio, and we are back for a vintage challenge today, and we're going to play some Cradlevine. Been off Cradlevine for a little while now, but I'm going to bring it back and give it a try today, and for no other particular reason other than that I love this deck, and I do think it's very good on a given day. Not too much exciting about this particular list that I'm bringing. This is obviously a very well-known commodity at this point, but with most decks, there are some minor nuance that I tinker with. And today I'm bringing 3 Besajus, not 2 main. And that has typically been my approach. I think Besaju is just still a very good card. There has been a rise in workshops out there, and obviously having answers to a Sphinx is a good idea, especially main deck. And I'm going to go with 3 Bloodghast today and 3 Hex Drinkers to be able to accommodate that. And yeah, the main deck is pretty stock from there. As you can see, I do have 3 Once Upon a Time as well. I would like to have that 4th, but we got to make our sacrifices to be able to accommodate what we're trying to do. And I'm going to go back to the 2 Caracas plan. I was up to 4 dismembers, but I'm going to go back to 3, and I'm going to go try and address Lavinia, and specifically Shieldred. Our deck can play around Lavinia, but Shieldred is a card that has gotten me, and having an uncounterable answer to it is pretty big game. And I think the tricky part with the Caracas, though, is knowing when to side them in, because you don't always know when someone's going to bring in a Shieldred against you. But Shieldred is a card that single-handedly dismantled me a number of times now. And yeah, the rest of the culprits are pretty self-explanatory. I have got 3 Mindbreak Traps to be able to give me a little bit of better game against some of the combo decks that are running around, like Coveted Jewel and Doomsday. And Dismember is specifically for the initiative matchup. So that's where we're at today, guys. And of course, one of the main reasons I'm running it today is that I'm starting to get a feeling that Collect Roof is really, really strong right now. I mean, it usually is in Vintage, but that's it, guys. Let's hope we have a good day, and we're going to see you in round 1. As always, appreciate you hanging out. All right, guys, here we are in round 1. We've got Laughing Rock. We won the die roll. And this looks like a nice hand. Got 2 good cards for discard equity here. Solid follow-up in Gaia's Cradle into Hex Drinker, or Wasteland, should we see fit. Guess we're looking for a Force of Vigor or Collector Roof off the top. Would be nice. Chalice was huge here. Wowzers. It's hard to know what's actually better here, the Wasteland or the Gaia's Cradle. I feel like if I'm keeping the Hex Drinker, the Gaia's Cradle is the card that we keep here. Yeah, I think it's probably these. And that sets us up for, potentially something like a Collector Roof if we find one off the top, or being able to potentially hard cast a Vigor. I'm going to bait with the hollow ones here with something like Mindbreak Trap. Let's see if this gets the Force or not. Hopefully not. Chalice is very strong here. They did have the Force of Will, so they're not worried about anything I'm really doing here. So we're playing a combo deck, and that could be bad for us. So it's Jewel Shops we're playing. Okay. Tinker, that's wild. Okay. Yep, so they've just got the key here. So we need to find a Collector Roof here or a Force of Vigor. It's not even a question. We just need to find it. And we did find a Collector Roof, which will resolve, which is awesome for us. We just can't keep it all here. That's the issue. We will dump a Seiju. And yeah, I guess we got to get rid of Hexdrinker. Just kind of deterministic, right? Get our Bloodghast back. And we're going to cast our Collector Roof here. And hopefully that will do it. Collector Roof saves a day. Well, I think we want Mindbreak Trap. Don't really feel like this is a matchup for Hexdrinker. I think this is fine. Keep Chalice in to keep their POs under wraps here, but I think Jewel is a tough matchup for us. It's a lot better when we're on the play, of course. Collector Roof is not a sure thing against these decks because they do run 4 Dismembers out of the sideboard. But we still got Vigors as interaction. We still have 3 Mindbreak Traps to be able to interact, all of which can be very good. Okay, I'm going to powder that one. Yeah, can't keep that. Okay, this is excellent. We'll keep that one for sure. We have Force of Vigor to interact and followed up by Collector Roof, potentially. Yep. Yep. So we are going to attempt to Force a Vigor here. I will leave the top because I can't truly get it. What do I want to get rid of here? Probably the Collector Roof because I'm going to need the discard equity. Let's see if this gets a Force. Okay, that's good for me. Chalice was such a boss draw. I mean, let's go. Don't think I want another Bazaar. That said, I mean, it's just, I guess, better than the Serum powder here, so we'll discard the powder, I guess. And I am going to play out my Mox Emerald. In case I draw a Wasteland next turn, that will allow me to cast my Collector Roof. It also gives me some Tabernacle protection, but I don't think my opponent is likely running Tabernacle. The Chalice is really nice here. And we can discard the second Bazaar next turn if need be. Okay. All right, that's solid. I mean, really, it's just a question, do they have Dismember here for me? But yes, they do. Or they're just taking with their top. Okay, so that's good. This shuts my Mox off, obviously, which is suboptimal because we've given up some discard equity to our Bazaar here. But I think that's okay. I wasn't sure what we were going to draw off the top with reference to, was it going to be a Wasteland or... that was my logic. If we drew a non-green mana producing spell, like another Bazaar or a Wasteland or a Strip Mine, I wanted the ability to cast the Collector Roof here. We just so happen to draw into a Gaia's Cradle, which is a higher prevalence play. I think that's okay. I'm not going to turn my Bazaar here. I could do it. I could do a double Bazaaring end of their turn. But I don't think it's worth it. I will now. Wasteland is what I want here. This is going to allow me to double pump my Root Wallace, and I can remove their guy here. So I cannot attack with my Collector Roof. But this is quite a chunk of damage here. And just get rid of that. Now, I realize the Ancient Tomb is producing the mana, but that's all right. Okay, I think my opponent conceded there. So we'll take a nice round one win. See you next round. Okay, guys, here we are, round two. And our opponent is typically a Bazaar player. I do associate them the most with Dredge. Most recently, they had a Squeevine placing, but I know they have range. So let's see how we do here. That's an easy powder. Okay, that's a really nice hand. So if it is Squee, this hand, it does have some vulnerabilities to it in that they could have Force of Vigor. Also get us with a Mindbreak Trap, which is the lesser of the concerns here, but this is a turn to kill left unaccosted. Like if it is indeed Dredge, we're in pretty good shape because we're on the play. Good discard equity. Here comes our vine. We will attack. See if we get a vigor here. Hopefully not. We are presenting lethal next turn, as long as the hollow one resolves. In. All right. And if it is Bazaar, we have a nice follow-up in Wasteland. Okay, so opponent didn't reveal anything. I am going to play like they are Dredge or Bazaar. And it may be detrimental for me to do that without really knowing, but I don't think it damages my deck that much to do it. I still have the ability to discard cards that I don't want, like Surgical. I can cast Endurances out of my deck, so it's not terrible. Still think Boseiju is fine. I like Hex Drinker. I don't think we want Force of Vigor. I don't think it's that good. I do like Hex Drinkers in this matchup. It is definitely a trump card. I think Mental Misstep is good for Noxus Revival, should they be on that. Maybe cut a Yavimaya Cradle of Growth. We need to make one more cut here. And I kind of Once Upon a Time. I think I'll try this out, guys. Okay. So this is interesting. If we're truly playing against Dredge, like I've got Wasteland, Surgicals, and Endurance here, I think it could be worth trying this out. It is a little bit greedy if I'm wrong. Well, not a little bit. It is greedy if I am wrong. If I am right, it could be solid. Brutal. Well, that's why you got to be careful, right? They take my Endurance or they take my Lotus? Probably Lotus, right? Maybe they have to take Surgical because I have the combo of Bazaar and Strip Mine. We have lots of green spells we can draw to enable our Endurance. Took Surgical, yep. All right, let's see. Hopefully they don't have any Dredgers here, guys. Okay, so they have one card in hand. Okay, they've conceded. I don't think they were likely to get out of that. Okay, Gray's Cradle was a good draw because we were going to be able to hard cast this. Strip Mine, that would have enabled us a mana. Okay, not super ideal, but yes, our hand was um, likely good enough to be able to get there, but no guarantees. And obviously, I don't know what the card in their hand was. We were eventually going to draw out of this. And my opponent was very low on resource with reference to manually discarding. Like, they only had one card in hand, so it took them 7 turns to get back up to discarding. That presuming they didn't draw a Bazaar off the top, which is possible, but I think we were likely to get there. It was a good gamble on our part. I mean, knowing what an opponent likes to play does help, but it is a perilous trait to live by because people today have lots of range because of Magic Online can switch decks up on you and you can just get punished, and that was a very big gamble on my part that ended up working out, but I was lucky regardless because turn 1 grief is solid. But anyways, guys, we'll see you next round. Okay, everybody, here we are, round 3 of the Vintage Challenge. We are playing Cradlevine today, and to Jordan, I typically think of as a Bazaar player. I know that they have liked Squeevine in the past, but their results recently show them playing White Initiative, so grateful to have won the die roll here, regardless. We're going to mulligan this one. This is an easy powder. This hand is pretty awkward, but I mean, I'm going to keep it. I don't really have a choice, but the discard equity here isn't great. We just have to hope we do well with our Bazaar here. Okay, that's really good, all in all considering. Fortunately, we can't get it going here, but I'm going to play a Black Lotus. Should I? Probably. They must be jumping for joy right now that I can't punish them there, but... And I can live with a Wasteland Pass. That would be totally fine. Here we go. So they are White Initiative. And let's see what this is. Okay. Yep. Okay. So we have to hope they don't have Solitude here, as I'd really like to steal the initiative from them. Black Lotus. Okay. Yeah, that's pretty nasty versus me. Can't cast. Don't think they're going to let me have the initiative, but they might. I have to get rid of this sensor. Um, I'm going to play it out. Now it makes it really hard for me to get an attack through because they still have the initiative and they're going to forge on top of their white plume. But the sensor there was, I mean, look, they had a really strong turn one. Black Lotus into Chrome Mox into 2/3 drop creatures. Like 6 mana on turn one is really tough for us to beat. But we do have our best card against them in Hex Drinker. It's not likely to matter, but it might. They're going to get the initiative back, sadly, and put their forge on their guy, but that's the world we're living in. Yep. Okay, so this one has slipped away from us, sadly. Pretty much dead here next turn, but not much I can do about it. There are 12. I could steal the initiative back. At the expense of my hollow one. And that puts this, makes this not have the reach I need it to. Is there any way I can win this? They dropped their tune, put themselves down to 10. I don't think so. I'm going to do it against my better judgment. Right? They hit for 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Yeah, I can't. Yeah, I can't. All right. The good news for us is that we did come prepared in our sideboard for this matchup. And I feel like it's a very close match in general. Like when your opponent does what they did to me on turn one with the 6 mana, it's going to be hard to beat this deck. Like we had a pretty reasonable start, considering the way our opening hand looked. The Bazaar shaped us up pretty nice. Um, they're going to draw a card here. And then they're going to go into the throne, right? Next, or they're in the throne right now. Okay. Got maybe one collector roof. Collector roof is not at its best in this matchup. And my break trap can be good against my opponent. Like having a fourth collector roof, I don't think is that good. There was a time I was tinkering around with playing endurance again in this matchup to be able to sneak attack them, like flash one in and steal the initiative, but it's not really very good. It does have a decent sized butt on it too. It makes it tempting, but there is a world where maybe you could get rid of Besagus. I don't think my opponent's going to side and keep Thalian, but they might. Yeah, this hand's reasonable. Obviously, having double powder is not ideal, but that's what Bazaar of Baghdad is for. One of our best draws would be Chalice of the Void, and we'd love a Benjamine. And we're going to have Once Upon a Time to help us with that. Chancellor. Okay. So I guess the question is, I guess we just burn the Mox. The problem is the Once Upon a Time here is kind of just, I think I just have to burn the Once Upon a Time in this particular situation. Because it's kind of a dead card once I play the Root Walla, so I guess that's what we're going to do. Okay. Now, having the Mox here for the Dismember is nice. We're kind of burned through a lot of resources there, but having a chance at a Collector Roof next turn is decent. Oh, they have the on-color Mox even. Okay, Collector Roof is looking better. So this is the Seasoned Dungeoneer. Petal. Okay. I don't know how I feel about that. Maybe have a swords here. I don't know if they have some type of protection spell or some damn thing. I don't know. That's why I did it in response. It's highly improbable, but okay. So in the main phase here, I could cast a Collector Roof. Then I can Bazaar, and if I hit a Vengevine and another Root Walla, my Vine will come into play. That's a very low percentage play to happen. My fear is my opponent has a Swords here, and I'm almost wanting them to hit my guys here, but yeah. It's pretty low percentage, guys, that I'm going to hit a Vine and a Root Walla. And if I do, I just will feel happy even though I lost some damage here. So Tabernacle is pretty brutal for me if they have it, but I mean, those are the worlds we're living in. Okay. Diversify a bit here. Bazaar. Fantastic. Hit a Root Walla. Love a Gaia's Cradle here. Dismember. What are the chances that they have a Containment Priest? Okay. All right. Gonna get it tougher here on the draw. The reason I'm bringing in the Caracases here is if they do keep in Thalia against me, it slows my ability to dismember down significantly, and it does block my Root Wallas and Bloodghast with impunity. So I do think this is a worthy consideration. Let's try this. And I still do think Collector Roof is reasonable here. Like I could put in another Boseiju in place of a Collect Roof, but I think this is fine. Got a mulligan this one. Oh boy, guys. We'll go to 5. Our deck is powerful. We can do better than a 6 relying on Once Upon a Time to find Bazaar. It is tempting. But if I don't find it, it's really bad. Like, let's say hypothetically I found a Bazaar. Yeah, we could just, I know we can do better than this. This hand is really ugly. I might have to go to 4 here. Yeah. If this one had a Once Upon a Time in it, I think I would keep it. But I, as I stand, cannot cast anything. So they've held at 5. We just have to do better than this. Got to go to 3, guys. Got to go to 2. That's really unfortunate. This deck does not mulligan that badly. Oh, they got me with a Chancellor too. That left me with nothing. Oh boy, guys. Yep. Bazaar. The Chancellor got me here. Bazaar, please. Play another Mox. Archon, yeah. Well, I did draw it. But the bad news is it's just going to get killed here. Because it comes into play tapped. So close, guys. We almost pulled out of that one. If it was anything other than the Archon, we would have been in really good shape there. Mm-hmm. If we can find another land where it would be maybe okay. Yeah, there it is. All right, guys. Well, we mulliganed to 3 here, kept a gamble hand, and Chancellor got me. They had a very slow hand. We would have, in hindsight, done much better with one of our early openers. Well, I guess if we draw a Dismember, it's not even going to be enough, almost assuredly. Yeah. I'm disappointed. I felt like we had a pretty good chance of winning here, but um, Warren, yeah. But I mean, in fairness, that's what this deck does, and that's why you run cards like Chancellor of the Annex to be able to give you a chance. All right, guys, we'll see you next round. Okay, guys, here we are in round 4, and we're playing Sandy Dog MTG, and I happen to know they are a mono white player. Believe it or not, this hand is something to think about. Like turn 1 Collector Roof, I guess it just doesn't do enough. That's the problem. Like the turn 1 Collector Roof is solid, but not good enough, I don't think. We need some power. Powder. Well, this is pretty good. How many vines did we lose here? Just 1. We lost 3 red and 1 green. We're going to keep this one. Chalice is really strong here against initiative. The problem for us is, are we going to be able to find something to augment our 1 Bloodghast here that we're going to have? We need some creatures. A hollow one would be really good. Having the Black Lotus here is really nice as well. But we'll have to see what we draw. This definitely can go. Okay. Let's get busy. Okay. Don't mind this. The question is, do I want the Black Lotus? I don't think so. No, I think it's just better not to do it. It's just a card I'd rather discard at this point. Having the Chalice here is going to slow them down. We're going to be able to pump our Root Wall the next turn, so we will have access to 2 casting cost. Yeah, I mean, this is good for me. Great draw. Okay. I don't feel like Mental Misstep does anything. And I don't think I'm going to have need of my Bazaar moving forward here, and an extra Bazaar. Like, it might be all right. But my opponent is not going to have the luxury of sitting around here and keep wastelanding my Bazaars, etc. So, yeah, nice win for us there. Probably can cut a Collector Roof here, and I don't think Force of Vigors really do enough. Let's try this out. Very similar plan to what we did in Game 3 against White Initiative. Okay, guys, let's see what we can do. They have mulligan. We're going to powder this one. Yep, looks good. There is some argument to just getting rid of Mental Misstep. It does stop Swords to Plowshares, though, which is actively part of their game plan. So I don't know. Like, is having a Besage better than that? Okay, here we are. Sandy is down to 4. The sad thing for us is that can be... Oh, good, good, good. Okay. The second Bazaar here is actually really decent for us. I'm wondering, do I keep the Root Walla here? Thing is, if they play an initiative creature next turn, it's probably just my best bet. Yeah, let's do that. Our best chance at getting a blind. And if they wasteland here, we finding this... Okay. This is kind of the best case scenario for me here if they're going to cast a 3-drop. I mean, the White Plume can cause me problems further down the road, but at least it's not an Archon. An Archon would cause me all sorts of trouble here. Okay, so they have a plane in hands. And if I can get this Vine going here... Okay, Cradle's actually really good. That will enable a Vine this turn. Okay, so I'm going to get the Vine anyways. This Mindbreak Trap's garbage. And so they're probably going to, I'm presuming, let me take the initiative. But maybe not. Our hand is a bit clunky right now. Would have loved to have hit a Wasteland there, or a Dismember. Just going to cast a Collector Roof here. This is not perfect by any means, guys, but If they play the Seasoned Dungeoneer here, it is not optimal for sure, but we do have 3 Dismembers in our deck. Okay. What do we want to put this on? I think my Vine, right? No, I think I'm actually going to put it on a Root Walla. Now we are actively looking for a Wasteland. That's pretty good. I think I can get rid of the Bazaar now. I am going to play the Yavimaya Cradle of Growth, and the reason I am going to do that is because if they Wasteland me with the Tabernacle, it will allow me to keep 2 of my creatures in play, which is pretty solid. The only thing I don't like about the Yavimaya Cradle of Growth is that my opponent will be given a mana by what I'm doing, but I think that's okay. Here we go. Yep, they know the trick. All right. That's the risk, right? Like, I feel like this is one of the ways I lose is by getting my Gaia's Cradle wastelanded. I couldn't find a wasteland, so it's not optimal. All right. Nice win for us there, guys. That's how it's supposed to go against White Initiative. All right, see you next round. Okay, guys, here we are in round 5 of the Vintage Challenge. Playing Cherry X-Men. Cherry is a Jewel Shops player. So what we're looking for is Force of Vigor. There is a Force of Vigor and a Black Lotus for Collector Roof. Those are pretty good. I'm going to keep this. It's a bit risky. Now, if my opponent is not on that, boy, am I going to look bad here. But I feel like they've been on that deck for quite some time. Once again, a little bit of a gamble on my part here. This hand does not do a whole lot if I say I'm playing against another Bazaar deck. But let's see what happens here. Yep. Hopefully they don't have an Ancestral here. Time Walk. They have no cards. They have no cards here. They're going to get to look with their top. But Force of Vigoring here maybe is not the best because I am going to have a Collector Roof next turn. Yeah, I think this is just fine. The risk in this and letting them do this is if they do find something like an Ancestral's Recall. So maybe it is worth me taking him off this mana. I think I'm going to gamble, guys. Like, PO is scary if they have it. There's a number of things that could backfire here. So they just have a PO here. Right, I take their top. Right, I take their Sensei's top because that's their filtering, and I take their Mox Emerald. Yeah. And so they draw 2 cards, one for the top. Okay. Okay. We're going to need some help off the top of our library here. Oh, Bazaar is so good here, guys. And that increases our clock significantly. The most dangerous card for them to draw off the top would be an Urza Saga in that position. Oh, we would have drawn a Chalice. Chalice would have been fine. Okay. So a Gambit paid off there. Don't really feel like any of these or other cards are... Okay. $63. So what do we want to do? I still think Chalice is good. I think it's probably getting rid of the Hex Drinkers is just the easiest cut for me. Let's try this out, guys. Collector Roof is not a card you can rely on quite as much in the game 2s and 3s as they do run 4 Dismembers in their deck. But they got to have them. Okay, this is a mulligan. It's an easy powder, that one. Don't like mulliganing here, but this does have the tools we're looking for here. Turn 1, oof, Force of Vigor. Now, they have a 7, but what are we going to do? I cannot play around Flusterstorm if they had it. That's what I was contemplating here. So what I'm going to do is I'm not going to force a figure here. I'm going to see if my Collector Roof resolves. And if it does, and it survives a Dismember, then great. We don't need to worry about Vigoring here. weak stone. Yeah, that's pretty good. So here's the thing. I feel like I do need to kill that. I'm not happy about this, but I think I'm going to kill the Might and Weak Stone because it gives them mana. Before they can tap it for mana. We are losing this one. I mean, we did pretty good for a mull to 5, but I'm feeling like we're in trouble here. There's a Jewel. Yeah. Okay. Big PO. We can trap it. Let's see if they have force. Or they're going for a metamorph. Okay. Okay. Yeah, so we can just concede from here. All right. Well, that was a blowout. I felt like we had done pretty good there, all in all considering, but Wormcoil is a bit of a scary card here. These Jewel Shops decks are pretty cagey. Yep, that's good. So what we're looking for is we'd love a Chalice off the top. Collector Roof. Okay, so they held at 6. It's Once Upon a Time here. We already have a Gaia's Cradle. I won't lie, that's a pretty disappointing Once Upon a Time. But this one's a lot better. Problem for us is we've got some bad discard equity here, but it is what it is. I feel like I need to hold up Force of Vigor here. And next turn we can Besage because we're going to get the Bloodghast back. Yep. Yeah. This does not, unfortunately, stop a Jewel. I think I have to do it now. Not happy about this, guys, but okay. At least that worked. Let's just draw a Collector Roof off the top. We got PO for 2. Pithing Needle. Okay. Pithing Needle is... Well, they're going to put it on Besage here. That's smart, if they do. Wasteland. Okay. No, Wasteland's good. I think I dismember. Well, that is a little bit more disappointing because I was really hoping to be able to have the Seiju up here. All right. They do have enough to cast a second jewel if they have it. All right, we got to hope, guys, that they brick here. They got another Metamorph. Damn. Well, this is getting away from me here. I need them to brick here. Yep, they got a Metamorph. Okay. I mean, the farther this goes along, the worse it gets for me, but I'm not quite dead yet. Now I probably am, because they have a PO, probably. But let's see. You never know. You don't know what's in someone's hands. Worm coil. Okay. Well, I can't get through that. I can maybe kill the worm coil, but... I think that's game, guys. Yep, they got me. Okay, guys, here we are for round 6. We won the die roll. Let's see what we can do. This hand looks great on the play. I don't know what this opponent runs. Okay, I did look them up. It looks like they're a Dredge player. So my Chalice is not looking as mighty as I thought it would here, but that's okay. You can see I'm 5 minutes behind on the clock here. I was just in a vintage league playing some Oath of Druids and ran into my friend Zeus. I believe Zeus's real name is Greg. I met him at Vintage Champs last year for the first time, having played them many times on Magic Online. So always one of the neat things about playing Magic Online and paper is when you get to meet people in person. It is always lots of fun. Okay. So we did win the die roll, which is great. This is not ideal. I don't even think, to be honest, we really want the Chalice. I just think it's probably better to have it as a discard outlet. Yeah, we just have to hope my opponent doesn't have much going on here. Yeah, I'm not going to play it if we're playing against Dredge. They did keep a 7, sadly. So we're probably losing this. Let's see if they hit any Dredgers. Sometimes a Wasteland can really mess Dredge up. They lost 2 Icarids, 3 Narcomoebas, and 1 Creeping Chill. 2 Hollow Ones as well. So they did lose a good chunk of stuff. Boy, did they do well on their Bazaar there. They got Golgari Grave Troll, which is always a challenge. All right, let's hit our Vengevine here. This would be really nice. Okay. I mean, that's not optimal. We'll have to wait till next turn. Gonna take their Bazaar here and hope they don't have anything. Just pass turn here. Okay, they did not do great there, but of course they have the second Bazaar, so that makes it a bit moot. But we're still hanging around if they don't do well here. We have another Wasteland, and we have a Black Lotus here. So I believe that's all their Bazaars. It is. I think I'm really just keen to keep my life total up here. I don't have a problem getting a block in here. Let's spin first and see if we can get our vines going. Okay, that's fantastic. That means we can get rid of the collector roof. Or is a world where I want the collector roof? I don't think so. I mean, I hope that's not a mistake, but so we have to hope they don't have Noxious Revival now, but we are pounding in for a good chunk of damage here. That's half their life total. I don't feel like I need to play the Lotus out, threatening to trade with the Hollow One. I don't really care that much. If they have the attack in them, then so be it. Okay, so they did hit a Narcomoeba, one of their only Narcomoebas. And we're pounding in for a good chunk of damage here. Okay, that's pretty good. Let's look for a Gaia's Cradle here. Didn't find one. I can put them to 2 here. All right, what do we want to discard here? So, like, my opponent shouldn't be able to get back into this, but they are going to get an Amalgam. I think this is fine. Like, if they have a Noxious Revival, then it is unfortunate for me. But yeah, I'm just getting in here. Just with the team. And I do believe they have to block one of my Benjamines here. And if that's the case, I will get one. I will get it back, which is pretty significant. Yep. Okay. They have Forcible. Okay. They're down to 3. So I guess we'll see what they can do here. They have another Force. Okay. Okay. Good win for us there. I didn't think we were going to get away with that one, but ended up working out. And we definitely want our endurances. I don't know if we want Dismember. I don't think so. I feel like Force of Vigor is pretty bad. I don't think Moxes are really where I need to be. I certainly could see keeping one. And Collector Roof is notoriously bad. So maybe just better to keep some of the Moxes here than Collector Roof. Collector Roof does not accomplish almost anything in this matchup. Maybe Force of Vigor is just better. I was considering Dismember. The rationale there for the Force of Vigor is they can kill Hollow Ones. And if I don't like them, I can just discard them. Look, if I get hit with a grief, it could be bad for me. I don't have anything in my hand that interacts with Dredge right now. But Once Upon a Time could maybe put me into an endurance. I'm going to do it now. I didn't want to give him the chance to find a counterspell here. And I don't want to do it during my turn because of Force of Negation. It's possible they've kept those. Okay, so decent Dredge for them. We are unfortunately penciled into Wastelanding here. We just have to hope my opponent doesn't have anything going down. But that's the world we're living in right now. Okay. Hopefully they do not have a second Bazaar this time. Okay, that's good for me. Gives me a chance here. That was not good, guys. Problem is they're coming in with these two Icarids now. Yeah, I kind of missed on this one, didn't I? All right. Well, we're going to need some help here. We're not dead, but we're not looking great because of the two amalgams coming in with the Icarid here. So we're going to need to find some answers here quick. They are out of dredgers, but they are moving closer because they're at 6 now. That's bizarre. I mean, it's not the worst. That was tough. That was a tough discard. I'm not sure what's correct here, but anyways, we're kind of hanging around here a little bit. All right, here we go. Like, Hexdrinker is a card that could win this for me if I can get it going enough. I'm unfortunately taking some damage here, but we're going to have to... Next turn, we should be able to stall those back. Okay, I do like that. Do I Bazaar is the question here. I think so. Oh, wow, that was a great Bazaar. Because now these Hexdrinkers are going to get big fast. One, two, three, four, five. I can ultimate one right now. Yeah, right, we want to do that. And let's get going. All right, nice win for us there. Well, guys, there was not a round 7 I thought there was going to be, and we ended up in 16th place. Obviously, our breakers were not the best. Only 1-4-2 ended up making NY Principe. But that said, I mean, a pretty good day. I think the deck performed well. And we took our losses to the White Initiative deck, to Jordan, who ended up going all the way and winning the tournament. And we also lost to... What else did we lose to here? Oh, Jewel Shops. That's what it was. Jewel Shops. Yeah. We won game 1 convincingly, but lost the next 2, and one of them was a mulligan to 5. So that does happen. But anyways, guys, as always, I mean, I think this deck is really good, Cradlevine, and I do recommend it. I think it has pretty good game against everything. And yeah, as always, guys, I do appreciate you hanging out with us, and we're going to see you next time. And if you haven't done so, please hit that like.